Minecraft can be annoying sometimes. There's just certain things that the developers either ignore, forget about, or develop into the game that I'm just not really a big fan of. So let's go down a list of my 7 least favorite, most annoying things in Minecraft. So here we are inside of Minecraft, and my first, number 1, most annoying thing in 1.14 has got to be scaffolding. This is really also, I'm starting off with basically the thing that's on the top of my list. The most annoying, rain would be on the list if it had been introduced in 1.14. Scaffolding is really on my list for a few different reasons. First is that it's a little bit unintuitive when you place scaffolding, what it's gonna do. Like sometimes, so you're sitting here clicking, okay, having a great time, you know, it's going up or whatever. But let's say the first block that you place down, you place like this, okay, I'm gonna place another block. If I place it right here, if I don't move my mouse at all and I just right click, what is going to happen? You would think it would go straight up. No, it goes straight out. Why? Because you're clicking the top of the block. Almost nobody realizes that if you click the side, it'll go up. But if you click the top, then it'll go diagonally. That is super unintuitive. Also, the way that you shift through the block, one block, and so you're down a block whenever you're shift clicking is super weird, unless if you're on top of a tower, and then when you shift, you go all the way through it. That is super unintuitive. And I will say that the scaffolding block is still pretty glitchy. I have found that, especially on multiplayer servers, scaffolding blocks can really do some weird stuff. Specifically with this situation that I have right now, I'm happy I'm going up, but then I get glitched into the corner of a scaffolding block, and for some reason, I was able to float just fine through the side of the block before, but now when I get up to the top, it won't let me do that, and it will do that weird like jiggle effect, and you have to scoot to the center of the block to pop all the way out. Also on multiplayer servers here, let me switch to one. So I'm here on a normal server. Let me grab some scaffolding, and we will, oh gosh, please work. Okay, so we're gonna put some up here, and then I'm gonna go just straight out. And if you spam a little bit too fast whenever you're placing blocks, sometimes you can get ghost blocks. Sometimes things will happen where you'll get like an extra block that will float off to the edge for a little while. I've also had more issues on multiplayer servers. That has gotten better in the dot releases of Minecraft, but still, I've had a lot more issues with scaffolding on servers than I have in single player. This next thing will really just be for the longtime players, that this is super annoying that they have changed up dye. For my entire Minecraft life, okay, ink sacs are black dye, cocoa beans are brown dye, lapis is blue dye, and bone meal is white. But now you have a specific dye for that type of thing. And granted, it's not that big of a deal because all you have to do is throw it in your crafting table and get the appropriate dye out of your crafting table. It's mostly annoying whenever you have to craft something that you forget. And so you're sitting there with lapis looking like a dummy when your leather armor won't die because you got lapis in the stupid thing instead of blue dye in the crafting table, so you can't dye whatever the heck you have. That is just really annoying that they couldn't, okay, fine, give us blue dye, but please just let lapis still be blue dye. If all you have to do is this, and then it works, just also add 2 recipes. Just add 2 recipes, please. Next thing that is super annoying, and this is probably a bug. I mean, this is obviously a bug, but it's just annoying that like these things haven't been fixed yet, is that smoke, whenever it goes through water, you can like see all the water in front of the smoke. And this doesn't help if like there's no way to like fix that. And then also, glass also shows up in front of smoke. no matter what. I don't understand why smoke particles have the magical ability to teleport behind other blocks, but it's just annoying to look at. I happen to have a base near an ocean in my survival world, and I'm looking at this like all day long, and I hate it. Next has to do with villagers, and specifically with villager farming. You've been able to use villagers to set up like an actual farm, like a normal, carrot farm, wheat farm, that sort of thing, by putting stuff that they can harvest, and then putting a villager that needs food in an area, and they try to toss the food to them, but you just scoop it up with hoppers instead. And that has kind of been nerfed a little bit in 1.14.3, 1.14, I guess I should say. And that's because villagers don't work all the time anymore. Now they have specific times of the day that they work, and they have times that they're gossiping, and they have times that they're sleeping. So all of that combined means that your farms, your old crop farms that you would use villagers to harvest for you, are super slow now. And so that is another annoying feature of 1.14. The next annoying thing in 1.14 is enchanting. The first thing is that it's changed a whole bunch, and that you can have level 30 enchants and still get pretty crummy enchants. Like right here, a protection 3 enchantment on a level 30 enchant on this chest piece, like that should at least be protection 4. Here it is again. Oh my god. Oh, that's because I didn't enchant it, lol. And so just getting these like crummy enchants is like really, really annoying. I've really gotten Unbreaking 3 times. Unbreaking 3, Protection 3, and Thorns 2, Fire Protection 4, Unbreaking 3, just Protection 3, just Unbreaking 3. Like, if you have done a lot of enchanting before, you really notice that enchants have been nerfed a lot in 1.14. Now, this was okay in 1.14.1 and .2, that is because you could stack these unstackable enchants. So in previous versions, in those first few versions, you could give yourself fire protection and normal protection and blast protection and projectile protection. So you can make this like god tier armor that had way more, like way more protection points than the game even will allow you. You'll maximize your protection points without even a chest plate on. Like, that's how many protection points that you get from some of this armor, which was amazing because we use Elytra a lot to fly around and we remove the chest piece. So with just boots, pants, and a helmet, you could get optimal armor that would protect you better than any armor ever had before. But they removed it in 1.14.3. So now it's back to the old system of non-stacking enchants, so you can only have one type of protection. So if you have projectile protection, that's the only one of the protections. You're not going to get normal protection or fire protection projectile or anything like that. I may have said projectile twice. But they haven't reverted back to the old enchanting system of how well you would enchant whenever you're enchanting at level 30. So like, here's a protection 4 enchantment, hooray, but they're kind of crummy altogether. It is a subtle difference in how horrible your enchants are, quote unquote, but it is very annoying that they have removed stacking but kept the crummy enchants that you get from the enchanting table. My next annoyance and another thing is that these two blocks, this is the smithing table and the fletching table, they don't do anything. I'm spamming my right click and they don't have any interaction. All the other sort of new blocks that the villagers have some type of use, like the loom or the barrel or the blast furnace or the smoker or their cartography table. But the fletching table and the smithing table don't do anything. They're just basically decorative blocks at this point. Now, Granted, they have said that they will be updated in 1.15. And so they're just not updating them in 1.14. And there's I forget if it was a rumor or it's confirmed that is because they have a lot to do with what 1.15 will all be about. And that's a pretty obvious tell to me that 1.15 will be the combat update. It'll be very focused on combat because the combat update, again, maybe you might call it that, because obviously the bow and arrow, this is probably going to be a way to manage tipped arrows because that's a really complicated way. It's really complicated at the moment. So the fletching table will probably be something to do with the tipped arrows, although I don't know. And the smithing table will probably have something to do with smithing weapons of some flavor or smithing armor of some flavor. We've already seen a combat update snapshot released by Jeb to Reddit, and so the community could check out all the new combat things. And one of those things was reach, and that weapons could have a specific reach in how hard and how far they would be able to attack things from a distance away. So if you had a super long reach, you could stand far away and try to attack and you'd still hit it. If it had a super short reach, well, you'd have to get up close because it wouldn't have such far reach. And so maybe stuff like that can be edited in a smithing table, possibly enchantments of some super flavor could be added into the smithing table. So I'm just totally guessing. I have no idea what either of these two blocks are going to contain, but it definitely has something to do with 1.15, but it's just annoying that they don't have anything to do right now, and that they couldn't have just like slid it. Like if it was just tipped arrows, like that's just like so simple. Just like have a potion thing, have some arrows and have them come like, meh. Next, now I have griped and griped and griped. I think I have mentioned how much I hate the Wandering Trader like 4 or 5 times. Okay. I don't like the Wandering Trader, and it is pretty obvious. I originally thought that the Wandering Trader was something you would never, ever, ever see if you were playing survival Minecraft. My feelings on that have completely changed 180 degrees, is that you see this guy all the freaking time. If you're playing for hours in a world, you see like a Wandering Trader, it feels like every 3 hours or so, which is a lot. Okay, you see this guy all the time and his trades are crummy. There has never been a time I'm like, oh, I gotta get that thing. Like maybe the first time that I ever saw that he had coral, but of course I wasn't at a spot where I had a whole bunch of emeralds to feed the guy. And if you try to kill him, his llamas get all mad at you. It's just he's just annoying. He's just an annoying little guy, and I really don't like him. And I wish he wouldn't show up nearly as often. And I wish his trades were more epic because they're really crummy. I just hate the guy. He's so annoying. So there you have it. My list of the most annoying things in 1.14. Is there something that I missed that you feel like, come on, Chad, I was just waiting this whole video for you to say, bleh. Put that in the comments. Don't put bleh in the comments down below, but put whatever that thought was in your head down in the comments down below because I want to know. Thanks so much for watching this episode of OMG Craft. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a like. If you want to see future videos, tips, tricks, tutorials, and spotlights here on OMG Craft, make sure you subscribe for those future videos. I'll see you next time on OMG Craft. Bye.